And hi everybody, John Clayton from bmaster.com. Today is pork chops served with gnocchi with an applejack cream and mustard sauce. We have redneck pepper seasoning. If you can't get that, use a quarter teaspoon of red pepper flake. And then we go on to some of the other ingredients. Now, garlic is always a big thing with me, especially with meats. So a simple garlic powder can do. Fresh garlic is wonderful. This is at work though. Salt, and here's our applejack. Of course, we have fresh ground pepper here, which I didn't show, but that applejack has such incredible taste with the cream and the mustard. Now here's the gnocchi. Gnocchi you buy off the shelf in the refrigerator department is basically extruded instant mashed potatoes in the shape of footballs, and it's left to dry and has an incredible, almost noodle-like texture. Absorbs cream sauce very nicely. Here's the mustard. It's a stone ground mustard. You want the mustard seed in there. And finally, we have the cream itself. It's a light cream that we use. We use plenty of that. Now, I've already coated up the pork chops with all the dry seasoning. I want to leave that stuff in there for about an hour, and I want to bring those chops down near room temperature if I can. So I mean, let them sit out for a while. It's not going to hurt. We're fully cooking those. We're using a screaming hot pan here. It's a heavy cast iron pan. I just added the oil right before the camera switched to it, and it's a peanut oil, so we can cook at really high temperature. I've got it on high, and now I'm going to take it. I'm going to add 3 pork chops to this pan. And then I have another pan with 2 more chops. I'm cooking for myself, a co-worker, and he's taking a taste home for his wife. So we have 2 pork chops apiece for him and for me, and his wife will get one with some gnocchi going home. This dinner idea was found on the internet. I wanted to kind of make it my own, change up a few things, show how high you have to cook pork chops to really seal in the juices, let them cook from the outside in to the very end. Now, we want those brown, see that brown color? Some people say, oh my God, that's getting awful dark, you might want to turn the heat down. No, do not do that. For everything that comes up on the chop, just as much stays down in the pan, and that's where all your flavor is going to be when you make that sauce at the end. The sauce is a long-winded, critical process that you have to master in order to make any dish with a really good sauce that requires you to mix any cream with an alcohol or something else. So pay attention to that. So we're flipping these over back and forth a couple of times. I just want to sort of, you notice I took the knife and I cut a slit in the pork chops to remove the bow out of it. Some chops will take and naturally bow and make an arch in the pan, and a lot of the chop will just never ever hit the frying pan. Put a slight notch into it, and its next flip it'll lay down. Okay, finally we're adding the gnocchi itself to boiling salted water. The water is going to come back up to a boil pretty quick because gnocchis again are room temperature. I like to stir them so they don't stick to the pan. Sometimes they could stick to a pan bottom, especially if it's a lightweight pan, and they will stick to each other. So one good swirl around like that. Now you'll notice a time cut here. If you weren't paying attention, you really wouldn't overly see that. I made it look a little bit better, I guess. There's a little blink of time that time. This is maybe 2 to 3 minutes later. And you'll notice these gnocchi come right to the top quickly. And this has been about 1 minute to 2 minutes, something like that. Unless I said 3 minutes already. Now I get all these out. You really can't go nuts over cooking them. You can take your time taking these out. When they float, they're just kind of done, and they're not going to get overly gummy on you or anything like that, or fall apart or anything. Once you're done with the gnocchi, you got playtime, which is really good. And if you have to toss them, save that liquid, toss them back in there. Now here's the last of the 2 chops. That's to toss them back in there to warm them up if you have to pour a gravy or something on them. Now look at this chop. I mean, that's the cover of Pork Chop Monthly magazine. That's beautiful. You get a frying pan full of that, and you'll see we got 5. I'll go ahead and zoom the camera around just to show you the other 3 we got. Now they are done. They're not overdone. They are not. I cooked them very high. Now look, I still have high heat, and I just lowered it just a tiny bit, but not much, to enter the Applejack. This is, very dangerous. You got to watch it. Be careful. This could burst into flame on you. It is definitely flammable. So get in there and, first I'll be scraping with a spatula, and that'll get, a good amount of areas at a time. Then I'll go in there with a spoon to get the corners really well and things like that. You want to deglaze this pan with this Applejack as best as you can, because you want everything that's in that pan. And mind you, I combined both pans. I did this not just with the one, but with the two. Now look here, this is the important part. I'm creating a little bit of a whirlpool, and I'm pouring the light cream into the center of that whirlpool. And what happens is the cream temperature rises up a lot slower than just pouring it into the hot Applejack, and it prevents it from curdling. As I move along here, you see I'll spread it out a little further and further, and just introduce that heat as well as that flavor. But right now we're worried about the heat because we are dealing with cream. And again, I'm using a method of dispersing the temperature difference between the two. That is the whole thing. And once you've introduced it like this, you're smooth sailing now. I got a little more cream to put in, just because this will use quite a bit of cream. We'll finish that off. I'll have to add the ingredients part to this at the end of the video. I didn't do it earlier on, and I'm one kind of for tipping the jar until it's empty. Matter of fact, I tipped this jar and I said, well, that ain't empty. I'm going to go ahead and get a spoon and get the rest of that out there, add it to this cream sauce. Now, I like to keep a cream sauce moving. I don't like it to sit anywhere. As you can see, the main thing you have on top floating there is just any little bit of residual grease that may have been in the pan. But I poured off all the grease that I could get out of those pans, and retained every bit of the crunchy parts. And there's the last of the mustard. Now I'm going to stir that around, and you see how thick that has gotten. And it's just a matter of time now. Just get the last of the corners in, get that spoon to work. I want to show you how I deglaze the spoon to test, or to glaze the spoon. Here we go. Now, if it sticks to the spoon, but it pours out at a nice slow rate there, not too slow, it should evacuate the spoon relatively quick at this point, because we still got, another minute or two of cooking on higher heat to set the sauce into the gnocchi. So clean off the spatula a little bit with the spoon, and the only thing left I really need to do is reserve a little bit of the sauce here to put on the pork chop for decorative and taste reasons. So I take my old Elliott Sadler number 38 car cup there. That shows you how old that car is in NASCAR if you follow that. And I reserve some of that sauce, and that is to pour on top of the pork chops. Okay, now it's about time we get to finalizing this whole thing. Here comes the gnocchi. We're going to take and pour the gnocchi into the pan, and you'll notice that it takes no time at all for that to just, suck in that sauce that we made. I mean, we can make more of it and use it for other reasons, but with pasta, it coats nicely, but the gnocchi definitely sucks it in. And I put a good hefty boil onto it just to really seal it. Look at that. It looks like baked beans. I mean, it's such a boil I got going on there. Now I take it, dish it onto the plate. I already have 2 pork chops there ready. If I had a platter and I was planning on serving something else, I would definitely do asparagus, maybe Brussels sprouts, spinach, something dark green and leafy is ideal. You could go really nuts with that. But here's a final project. Hope you like that. Pork chops with cream, mustard, and Applejack gnocchi. Have a great day. Be master. See you next time.